Hey guys, this is the general reading for Virgo for November 2018. I do 2 readings per sign. One is the soul journey reading and the other is the soulmate reading. So this happens to be the soul journey reading, but it actually is going to be based a little bit around a relationship or some type of situation, because I think that's kind of what is a soul lesson for you guys right now. So just an FYI. Also, I just want to let you guys know of a November special that I have. I also have a video on it that you can go check out, where if you purchase a live reading from me, you get a free 25 to 30 minute, basically either Reiki, Archangel therapy session, just kind of like Reiki, but where you're calling in the archangels, or an access consciousness bars, which is, it helps kind of declutter your mind. You get 25 to 30 minutes of that free, either distant, or if you're in person, you can do that too, but most people is distant. And you can use this either for yourself, you can use it on a situation, or a person, I'm sorry, not a person, a relationship. It won't specifically be on the person due to free will unless they agree to it. It would be on the situation, the relationship, or just you and your healing of the highest good involved, of energy clearing and blockage removal. Again, if you want to know more on that, you can look either in my description box below, or you can look at, I did a video on it for the November 11/11/11 portal. So anything about my readings, or for, if you're wondering, a lot of people ask about like donations or tipping or whatever, or for services or information about me, any of that, look in the description box below. It pretty much describes everything on how to do it. If you have questions, of course you can email me and I will help you, but it pretty much tells you what to do. It tells you about my services. Again, like I said, if you have questions about my services or the process, email me, but it says it in there. You just look at what I have, what do you want, and then you go to my PayPal and you email me, you know, once that's done, and then I send you an email back letting you know the information I need from you and the timeline it should be done. If anybody catches this that's waiting on emails from me that has paid, I should be wrapping up the rest of my emails today. So if you want to see if this energy more pertains to you, how to go about it, blocks, advice, any of that, hit me up for a personal reading. Again, don't forget about my November special. It has to be paid for in the month of November 2018. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you to all of you who have done that and all the new people that are subscribing to me. It's so much, it means a lot to me, you guys showing your appreciation just by supporting my channel, liking, commenting and sharing your stories with me. I don't have time to comment or, you know, reply to all of them, but I read all of them, and it really means a lot to me. Those of you who have contributed by donations or services, all of that money goes towards me in the summer of 19, going to plant spirit medicine, healing, which I'm going to do a video on that too, explaining more about that. And I start shaman training in January, and just certain other things that I'm doing to continue my healing, to be able to make sure that I can heal myself and continue to help others in the way they need to, as people are progressing on their journeys and they need help and guidance. So all of that money goes towards that. But like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. This energy is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, if it's significant in your chart, or if you're just drawn to this video. Also, for more of a complete picture, or if this doesn't resonate, check out my other videos of your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, anything significant in your chart, or whatever of my videos resonate with you. Some, none, or all of this may apply. Just take what fits. Don't make it fit if it doesn't. I could read it as you. It could be someone else. It could be for a cross watcher. I could read this as love. It could be work. Just, we all know what to do with it. Okay? So I'm going to get started now. Songs that I would really check out are, for one, when I was looking at your cards and meditating on them, was, I think it's a little older of a song, I'm not sure, but it's called Against the Wind by Bob Seger. And I feel like that in a lot of ways really represents an energy here. Also, it's kind of an older country song by Patti Loveless called How Can I Help You to Say Goodbye? That's actually what I might title this video. We'll see as I go through, because I get the idea of it, but I know that some of it I'm going to pick up as I start going and channeling. But in your central position, you have the Ace of Swords reverse, triumph, success, and the Ten of Pentacles. I guess, I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know. But either way, it's like this is the main card and this is the one clarifying it. So I feel like something that you've really been putting a lot of time into. For some of you guys, this is going to be family. It could be a relationship, but something that you've really been putting a lot of time and energy and dedication into is just not going good. It's basically not successful. It's, I don't know if it's no communication. I more get, it's just not it's not successful. It's not going good right now. There may be things also, yeah, I guess it's funny that I said that is not being communicated in this, because you do have the Ace of Swords, which could be communication, or even thoughts that either you're not thinking or someone else. And when I clarified it, there's the Secrets card. So either something you're not willing to see about this situation, or something someone else isn't, or both. It's probably both, and it's a general reading, so it's going to vary. But I think on both parties, probably not seeing things properly. What's crossing this is the Nine of Pentacles with the Three of Cups. You have material harvest. So somebody could be overworking, overindulging, you know, having too much fun. Somebody could also, with this Nine of Pentacles, be acting or thinking like they're single, or they need to be single, and that's what's crossing them. But I get also that it's not just what you need to do. I feel like some people in this situation are kind of acting like they're single, and they're kind of overindulging with different people. And that may be also what's affecting this situation not going well. Whether it's supposed to be that way or whether somebody's causing it that way. But I think Nine of Pentacles a lot of times also comes up. I think it's a lot like seen as the Virgo card. So maybe you as the Virgo, if not, flip-flop this, could be a little bit overindulging. Whether it's people, sex, drugs, alcohol, working. But what also may be making it where this situation, this whatever you've invested in, family life, work life, whatever it is, this Ten of Pentacles is to you, is being affected by a little bit of overindulging, acting like they're single, being too invested possibly in the 3D realm. Show me about this. Nine of Pentacles, Three of Cups. Yeah, kind of like, no offense, but kind of like a little bit of childish behavior. Somebody not being able to really be disciplined. Like I get a vibe of discipline here maybe. Or, and maybe if you are, like, you know, this could even come across as somebody being overly disciplined in work. Like, too much work, but yet in other areas of their life, they're not applying the discipline to them. They're not applying the discipline in areas that they want to keep going, but they're applying the discipline in areas, again, that they want to keep going, but that maybe are a necessity to have to apply the discipline to, so they do. and not applying to the discipline in areas that, I don't know, that they don't have to. Either way, I get this vibe that the situation, and it's supposed to be this way, it may not, I don't know, but that what is making this situation not successful is that there's things not being seen on both parties, and there's secrets, and that somebody is overindulging, and maybe even acting like they're single, like being just too worried about themselves. Yeah, exactly, like the child too. Like they're being too worried. Or maybe you're having an issue becoming single and going and doing the things you want to do and going and having fun and what's of interest to you because you have children. Maybe that's keeping you kind of stuck in a situation that you're not happy with. And that's what's stopping you from going and being single and indulging in the things you want to indulge in more because you have kids. Either way, there's really a feeling of like being stuck here as well. But you're not really invested in it, I have to say. I'm just going to read this as the Virgo. And if it's not you and it needs to be flip-flopped, then flip-flop it. But you're not really invested. You're really not. Because even in your more distant past, or what I also read as your subconscious, you know, you have the Hermit card. And you have the Knight of Cups reversed. So you're just kind of like, again, like worrying, kind of doing your own thing, worrying about yourself, having solitude, not offering love. Like you're not really thinking about the situation in really a loving way. And you're like looking at this book and you're really thinking, this side is written on and this side is still unwritten. Like, how do I want to write maybe even the second half of my life or another portion of my life? What do I want and how do I want this to go? Maybe you've been through a lot of blocks or challenges and you're just really ready to focus on yourself. You may not even be focusing on love right now, which, depending on what this Ten of Pentacles is, you know, that could really damper things. Maybe the reason this isn't working out also because you're focused on yourself and not coming back together with somebody. But I don't know. I get so many scenarios from it and it's hard because it's a general reading. Tell me a little bit more of Three of Cups. It's a block. I just think it's still different. Like for some people, people are hanging on for kids. For some people, they just have this mentality where they want to just focus on their own and do what they want and have fun. Focus on overindulgences, which it's not saying that. It's just what you're wanting to do. You wanting to be single and be able to have fun and do the things you want to do. When you want to do it, who you want to do it with, and all of that. And you just want to have fun again. I just think this situation of this Ace of Swords reversed with this Ten of Pentacles, it's just, you feel stuck in it. You feel like you're not truly representing who you are or maybe even what your identity is. It could be a perception issue too with the Ace of Swords reversed. Maybe, you know, I don't know, you could be projecting your own personal thoughts on, I don't know. It could literally just be that it truly is not aligned with you, but it could also be your perception on it, is what I'm trying to say. It's up to you. And sometimes you got to figure that out even by doing your own thing. But your kids, if you have kids, that could be a block to you being single. Some people could be indulging in things outside of this situation. So somebody could be overworking, seeing too many people, maybe drinking, partying, whatever. I guess I'll go back to that. We'll see how this unravels more, but there's so many situations this could be. So I don't know if I need to get too detailed on that. But either way, even what you're thinking and feeling inside is like, you don't know what you want to put your attention into. You're trying to figure out how you want to move forward, what you want, your future to look like. I don't think you're really sure, or you're kind of more thinking that whatever you've been investing your time in and energy into for this long, either it's not going to be there because someone else removed it, or you're like, I don't know if I want to, because you're not emotionally involved in it or invested in it. You may be financially invested in it, or maybe at this point it's one of convenience. Just checking off boxes and whatever. In the recent past, you could see where, let's see the best way I can hold this up. You have the Seven of Pentacles with the Fool card, New Beginnings, with the Two of Cups. And the cards kind of go along with those, kind of show it too. They've got the Five of Wands. You've got the Page of Cups. And you've got the Hanged Man, which you have the Hanged Man twice. But I think that you've had a lot of patience and were really just kept investing in this situation and was waiting for it to get better. And, you know, maybe you even really tried at a new beginning. I mean, this could be with someone else, but I get with this that you really have tried on this situation. Again, like, this really seems to be a very, very strong pattern, that really needs to end. I believe it kind of correlates with my last reading of your guys's too, but you keep like trying it. I feel like in a lot of ways you're not emotionally invested in this, but I don't know if it's fear or if it's money or convenience that kind of keeps you into it, or if it's maybe that you're not sure yet what you want the second half of either your life or the new phase of your life to look like. So you're kind of keeping this situation around until you're exactly sure what you want it to look like or what you want to do. I mean, hopefully you're not being narcissistic about that, but, you know, whatever, no judgment on that. But I really get the vibe. You are not emotionally invested in this. You're not totally sure. You're pretty sure this is done, though. But maybe you're not exactly totally sure where to move forward yet. So because of that, you're kind of just conveniently keeping it around. It works enough to keep things stable until you know where to then invest your energy going forward. And that's kind of where you're sitting now is, you know, you were kind of conflicted where to invest, especially with the Five of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. And I think you're kind of in a way too, even though you're not really thinking about love, I don't know if some of you are like, where do I invest my love to? Or at least a creative new adventure. And you're just kind of halted on the whole love or union thing. But you may like literally you're just focusing on yourself right now and what you want, and maybe really trying to figure out what you want, what's important to you, who are you, you know, what do you want this to look like? And that's probably why you're putting love on hold right now, is because like you're kind of in this stuck position. You may even be making people mad with it. But you're kind of just stopping on that. You're just like, I don't want to, I'm not going to focus on this. Like, I'm in the point right now of being like, what do I want? You're on this new kind of creative beginning. You're focusing on yourself. You don't want to focus on anything external to you because you're very conflicted about where to put your time. So really it's kind of actually one of the best things to do, because when you are conflicted with where to put your time and where to invest, I mean, your best thing to do is put it in yourself. So that is kind of a good thing if that is what you're doing and that you're, you know, putting it on yourself. Hopefully you're doing it in a considerate way, but, you know, that's good. At least from what I see on this side. What's crowning you is you have the throat chakra and you have the Knight of Pentacles and you have the Two of Wands reversed. So possibilities reversed. I don't know if you're saying or not what you're thinking. I think you might be literally here. I mean, I think you're obviously possibly really slow to commit to this situation. I think you're just like, here I am. I don't know if somebody else is doing more of the work because you're not really emotionally invested in it. You don't really see this. I don't think you see this situation as a possibility. Either that or you're not seeing your possibilities. I'm just not sure if you're speaking. I don't think you're speaking what you're thinking. I don't think you're expressing yourself. You might be just focusing on work. You might just be like bunkering down, that's the word, and just focusing on work and creating a new beginning for yourself. There may be things going on where right now you guys are dealing with stuff, like if this is a family, you're dealing with stuff with like maybe divorces or stuff with child support. And there's a lot of fighting going on, or like a fighting and burning down of a situation. And I don't know, you could be waiting on your ships to come in, whatever you're waiting on or whatever you're trying to build or waiting on. But you're having a lot of anxiety. But you do have two of the Fool cards. Moving on from something you were stuck to, creating a new beginning. You could move on to somebody too, like either creating your own financial stuff and your own worth and value, or you could be going to somebody who's maybe even a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. This could be you. Or this could be somebody else that, I don't know, maybe you've been waiting on somebody else that you now have your eyes set on and eventually want to go towards that direction. Something that, like, you take action, but you feel like this, like the two people would be more maybe loving. And you kind of sneak away to that, and now your Two of Wands are upright. And you leave somebody else behind. Yeah, and it creates the Tower, the Eight of Cups, the Three of Wands, and either walking towards or waiting on somebody with an Empress vibe. Maybe even that broke your heart at one time. You speak your truth about it or tell them about it and move towards them. After thinking about what you want to manifest and invest in. And once you get your stuff together and become independent together and single, then you kind of gather your strength within you and move towards them and you want to work with them. Yeah. And you let them know, and then you speak your truth. With the Ace of Swords upright. Maybe somebody from your past, somebody that's a soulmate. Could be somebody with past lives, but somebody that you just think a lot about, have a lot of like maybe good or bad memories, but a lot of nostalgia. I would say good based on this card. It could even be somebody that either you have children with, somebody from your childhood or from when you were younger. And you take action towards them, or give and take, your wish. They're what you realized you wanted after a lot of going within and looking within to build this Four of Wands, Six of Wands. It seems like you've been in your head about it for a while, about wanting it. Again, Ace of Wands. I'm sorry, Ace of Cups. Something you've been wishing for. Again, it could be somebody you have kids with or somebody from your childhood. Or they just make you feel like a child again. I say you've been wishing for a while because the spot on here I kept because it kind of looks like praying hands. And you finally made a decision. Maybe to end whatever you're in with this Justice card, but also make a decision to go towards it. The Lovers. A lot of these cards also represent all the suits. I was realizing that you pretty much have all the suits. And I was like, wow, that's like Empress, Emperor. And then the Empress and the Emperor came up. But either way, I think you... You either decide possibly to go towards somebody else, or there's a little like back and forth. You probably have your own journey as you're walking through it. But either way, I have a feeling now that I'm going through all that you're planning some stuff that you're really not telling people about. Maybe you're even acting like it's not a possibility. But it is. Or you're just keeping a lot of your plans secret. It's almost like I get this vibe like Virgo's just really planning on some stuff. And it's either to go forward in a different way, or it's even with what they're in. I mean, you guys take this as necessary because there's so many things kind of coming. But it's like you're planning on something, but you're doing it very methodically. Very detailed, very more sure that it's going to work out. And you may even feel like you have to not say anything about this, because if you do, it'll make it to where it's not able to come to fruition, or it'll ruin the possibility of it happening. Tell me about the public card. Yeah, I think you're more choosing to keep it to yourself. You're keeping how you feel and what you're thinking and what you're planning to yourself. Partially because you're not fully sure yet. You're still figuring it out. But also because you don't want to ruin its chances of it happening. Whether it's because you're strategizing, or whether it's just, you know, manifestation laws, law of attraction laws, like you don't want to dissipate that energy. But it's very much like you're portraying one thing, but what you're really planning on is not, it's not what you're portraying. And this could be good, bad, small, big, I mean, whatever. Like, here's what you're really doing. You're portraying something else to the public, but you're really keeping whatever you're planning inside. You're not really speaking about it. But you are working on a new beginning. In your likely future, though, you know, tell me about Destiny reverse, please. In your likely future, though, you have, it's like destiny, which is the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Which is, I think, things not changing. I mean, it could be you receiving negative karma. So maybe you're not going about this in the best way. Also, for your recent past, I didn't say this, but this is technically the Sun card, innocence. Like, I think this was you possibly trying stuff. Maybe if you are in a situation that you feel stuck in and you keep trying it with renewed hope and vigor. Even seeing realistically how things were, you're trying to look at it in an innocent kind of way, but you could just see the cycle of you trying something and then it not working, and you tried again, either way. Or at least you're making it look like you are. I think you're having a problem sacrificing something in order to go towards something, someone, or some situation that you're possibly thinking that you want. There's some type of fear thing that is keeping you stuck here, and I don't know if it's image, I don't know if it's money and convenience, I don't know if it's your kids, if it's just literally fear, like this situation isn't exactly what you want, but you know, it does provide stability in some way. So it could be you not going after what you know is your destiny or what it is you really want, your path, things not really changing, not in allowing this wheel to turn, because in your cards clarifying, you have the kind of keeping things blocked off about ending a cycle with either some type of commitment or marriage. I mean, you have a lot of it, the Two of Swords, the World, Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, the Death card. Being confused about what it is you really want, what you want to work on, what really makes you happy, and then going after that and bringing that into your life, but you're not really doing that. And I think also with this, every time this situation, even possibly even comes close to ending, I think it triggers some fear stuff within you, and you try to keep bringing it back. It could even be with a type of fire sign, an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. Maybe even especially Sagittarius, since you have temperance in your outcome as well. I don't know, I just get this vibe of like I said, as soon as close up that it's like it's a wrap, then you get confused and fearful about what to work on and what it looks like to you and what you want, and maybe you revive it. And that's why things just really aren't changing. I think you're having a hard time really facing a lot of your fears. You know, including the ego part of this, the pain of all of this, of losing this. And a lot of it has to do with your perception too. How you see yourself is you have the Eight of Swords, trapped in fear. I didn't even realize that, but trapped in fear. The Nine of Wands. I mean, you're trying to like spiritually persevere through this. You just feel like, you know, this one would also be like wounded, like the wounded healer. But either way, you have a lot of fear. You feel trapped. You're trying to just stick it out. But mentally, you're done. I mean, you have the Ten of Swords. Which is funny that you're still in the Eight of Swords, but yet you have the Ten of Swords. And I don't know if you It's like mentally, I guess you can have both, because it's like mentally you're done with the Ten of Swords, but yet because you're keeping yourself in this cycle, you're rounding yourself back mentally and you're staying in the Eight of Swords trapped. You're just like, I'm done with it. I want to be done with it. I don't really want this. But I think with the situation, you're possibly done. But I think with yourself and with your own internal battles, I think that's where you're trapped. What's in your environment or how others see you is the solar plexus chakra, and you have the Ten of Wands. So someone else around you is either just as burdened, which I can't imagine how they wouldn't be, or they're also seeing you as just, you are like overburdened. You are just like, and you're not really seeing the truth. Because you've just got your head in all your burdens. And you don't have really enough self-esteem, confidence, and all of that to, I think, to end this and to put down these burdens. And you, and or it could be someone else around you as well. You might also be taking on other people's burdens as well. Whether it's their beliefs, whether it's their values, what they say is right or wrong. Because what made me think of it is that this guy is in the back cutting things down and you're the one carrying it all. Like, he's just cutting. He's just like cutting and chilling and moving along, but you're carrying all these burdens. So either you or somebody else, or someone else may also see this as either you're carrying a lot of burdens that mostly are created by somebody else, or somebody else could also be carrying a lot of burdens that are created by you. I'm sure it could be both. This is a general reading. And you might even have a lot of beliefs or a lot of, I don't know, confidence things or whatever within yourself, telling yourself that you're not worthy or good enough, or you're not being successful unless you feel like you're working this hard. So, you know, this could also be a work situation that I'm describing, that you're not able to have a level of freedom and independence and happiness with this Three of Cups. You can't even enjoy and celebrate things in your life or your family because you're working that hard, and it's something that you're just not seeing properly. But I feel like you or somebody else has this illusion that you must work that hard, almost like a badge of honor. You know, like you have to work that hard for things in your life, or that's what makes you look strong and confident and able, is if you're constantly walking around like this. Like, I can hold this load and no one else can, because I'm that good. And I have to say, from somebody who, I'm a Taurus, per Western astrology, I'm a Taurus sun sign. And, you know, I don't know if I necessarily walked around with that mentality, which you're probably not either. It's probably subconscious. It was that same exact mentality that led me to my awakening, and just being like, that it broke me. I don't know if it completely did, but it did in a lot of ways. And I really, really had to reevaluate a lot of things in my life, because I was carrying around so many burdens and so many things that were just false realities and images and thoughts of mine, that just the way I was looking at things was not right, or not the best for me. And it was carrying on old patterns, karma and patterns from generations before me, that my family, my parents had passed down to me. Even being around other people with the same ones. Just feeling like, you know, you're not, like, you're this strong, And this says something a lot about you, for you to be able to constantly carry this around, because a lot of people can't, almost like literally as a badge of honor. And I have to say, from somebody who's on the other end of the spectrum now, this does not say how strong you are. This says that you do not have a proper perspective on what your life could really actually look like. This does not say self-love. This says, in order for me to have stuff in my life, I have to work really hard. In order for me to be happy, I have to sacrifice. I have to do and have a lot of the things in my life that I don't want to do and have to be somewhat happy. This, to me, really screams image. Like, what image do you have? What image are you projecting? Who is this really for that you're showing? Is it to others or is it to yourself? Would you feel like you weren't really being productive or successful? I mean, this is very much a Virgo trait. Would you feel like you're really not being that productive or successful if you weren't walking around like this in order to gain the confidence that you need? What would doing what you want or having more leisure time look like? And I know what that means, like, from a Virgo. Virgos are like, I gotta go. And they're antsy too. They've got to get all this stuff done. Because that's what makes them feel good. This is what makes them feel good. So this is a huge part of your soul lesson right now, I guess, now that I'm realizing, is that this is your perspective. So if you're going to choose to keep this, don't complain about it. That's really what I have to say about it, because this is you keeping this. Because somebody being successful doesn't necessarily look like this. Like, you don't have to work hard to get good things in your life. You could be, actually, if you really look at it, you could actually be more successful by not doing this. Because this wears you down. This blocks you. This makes you not see things properly. This makes you not see possibilities. This keeps your thoughts, which this is in your thoughts, like this, where you're not seeing the possibilities. This is what keeps you stuck. This same thing that you honor, that you keep as one of your core values, is what actually keeps you stuck. You, like, your head is all up in these things. You can't see things properly. You can't see other forms of income. You can't see other forms of love. You can't see other forms of fun or of doing what truly is in your heart that you desire. That is going to make it to where you can blossom and your vibration raise, and then that is attracted from the universe. You are keeping yourself down. You're keeping yourself lowered, and you're keeping yourself limited. Now, I have to say, in saying that, that goes against a lot of the Virgos' perspectives that I know. Most of their perspective is, I've got to grow. I've got to expand. I've got to learn. But what you're not seeing, this perception you're not seeing, and maybe that's what it means in your main cards here too, is that how are you supposed to get and invest to this 10 of Pentacles level if you're not really seeing things properly? Here's your secrets card. If you're not seeing things properly, you're not going to be able to get to your 9 of Pentacles. You're going to stay stuck in this. Sorry, you're not going to be able to get to your 10 of Pentacles. You're going to, at best, be stuck in your 9 of Pentacles, which is great. Some people would be like, I'm okay with that. But I don't think a Virgo would be, because what you're constantly working towards is that 10 of Pentacles, which also brings another point. Is that why you're choosing subconsciously to hold yourself back, so that you always have something to work for? Because then if you get to your 10 of Pentacles, what are you going to have to work for? What are you going to see then that you're not seeing now because your head is so burdened in these wands? If you had to relax and sit back a minute and not be working so hard, or even in this energy, you could still be working, but you don't have to have this energy. this one that it's like, ugh, I did all this today and then I have to do this tomorrow. I really wish I could just go do this, but I can't, you know, I've got all this stuff on it, you know, but I'm willing to take the sacrifice. If anybody has to do it or if anybody can do it, it's me, you know, like that. Is that subconsciously a reason also why you're staying stuck and holding yourself to the Nine of Pentacles? Because the Ten of Pentacles means you can rest and relax for a minute, which means you're then not being successful, which means then you're also now seeing things that maybe you didn't want to see. Whether it's in your environment that you were running from or working too hard to not look at, or maybe even things within yourself. Seeing where your beliefs are coming from, seeing things in your environment that maybe you don't want them to be that way. It's like you're staying stuck. That's why your crowning and your foundation cards are both showing of stuckness. That's why your likely future is showing of stuckness. Because you're not seeing things properly, Virgo. And I don't know if I'm hitting your ego a lot by saying that, because most Virgos, I mean, I know when it was Virgo season, I like fully saw and appreciated the Virgo energy. And it was like, I mean, I saw like everything that needed to be done. You see everything in your environment. But the one thing that's really hard is to see what's in yourself. And I think that's why a lot of them do go kind of in a hermit vibe, because it is such an intense energy at the same time that it's even harder and mirrored back to you when you're around people, and it's just easier to do it on your own. No one else really understands. And plus you don't want to hurt people, because you guys can be very like, you just don't understand how they don't see it. So it can be very cutting, your words. And then afterwards you're like, well, that was a little harsh. Because you so clearly, when you're saying stuff to people, you understand it so clearly. But then afterwards you're like, maybe that was a little harsh. And so it's just easier to do it on your own. You know, so this is another reason why you're just like, you know, maybe this is the cycle that you get in where it's just like it became just easier to do it on your own. And then you got so many like bravos from it, you know, that you ended up building up this belief that you must do this to get the good job, you know? You're doing good. You're being productive. You're getting stuff done. Man, I couldn't have done that without you. Look at all this work you're doing. I need you, Virgo. I need you. And it just started out simply as a self-preservation thing. But let's ask yourself, and let's be honest about it. Is this still a self-preservation thing, or is this something that is now starting to tear you apart? I don't know. This is a strong energy and a strong lesson, which is why so much is coming in for this. So we may come back and hit it up. If not, I mean, please heed a lot of this advice. I could keep going and going with this energy. If you need help with this, please hit me up, you know, for a personal reading or a session or inner child or shadow work or something. But this is a big cycle and something that you learned obviously from when you were younger, I'm sure from your parents as well, but also something that because of the way you as Virgos are, I think you actually started something back at a time that ended up being a self-preservation, or it was just easier for you to do it this way. And now it's actually cycling where you're continuing it and it's actually becoming a self-destructive thing. The one thing at one time that made you feel good, it made you feel confident, it made you feel worthy, it held you apart from the rest, it got things done. It showed you how strong you were, how able you were, how productive you were, how people needed you. Excuse me. Like, and now because of this energy, have you attracted people and situations to you where you can't get out of this energy? You know, maybe when you were younger, you were able to do this, but now that you're getting older and it's more taxing on your body, or you're getting wiser and you're realizing, man, I can't sustain this and this isn't healthy for me anyways. How do you get out of this? And how do you decide that you want to? Because part of you is going to have to go through a little type of an ego death or change. It's going to have to go through a type of identity change. You're going to have to choose to change how you see the world and how you see yourself and what success looks like to you and how to occupy your time in a healthy, loving way for yourself that doesn't involve slamming yourself to the ground. And also being realized that you're going to be just as wanted and needed even if you stop doing this, that this is mostly in your head. And for those who it's not, when it's not in your head and they no longer appreciate you, well, then you're dodging a bullet. Because anybody who's really good for you or really cares about you wouldn't want you to go through all these lengths, jump through all these hoops, or do all these things. So for the most part, from what I've learned in my experience, this is mostly in your head. It really truly is. And then the other ones that don't, just do you, you'll feel better, they'll fall away naturally. And that's okay, because really you've got to come. I mean, Virgo very much is about a self-love place. This isn't very self-love-like, but they're very much about a self-growing, self-evolvement, you know, just growing and all of that. But your own stuff that you come to believe is stopping you from evolving. And don't let other people's expectations or burdens on you stop you from evolving. And I don't care who that is, whether it's your parents, whether it's a significant partner, whether it's your kids, because this is your journey. You come into this world alone and you die and you go out alone. And yes, be considerate with that, but these are your lessons to learn in this lifetime. You know, and this is a huge one of yours, apparently. It's coming up very deeply. So it's really up to you. But I have to say, make it easier on yourself. If you choose to keep that energy, just own it. And don't complain about it as a badge of honor, because that just makes that energy even heavier and it blocks you even faster. But from somebody who deals with energy work, this is a very blocking energy. You might actually literally have a block in your third or your solar plexus chakra. Actually, you've got a lot of chakras popping up. I think you actually have like blocks in all of yours, because a lot of your chakras, you have, just in this alone, spread out, you have the throat, you have the third, fifth, sixth. And when I was looking through your cards, like all the rest were trying to come up really strongly. So, especially the fear here, that's your first. You've got right short under here, you've got the sacral, which is creative and sexual energy. So maybe you're even expressing your sexual energy a lot with like other people, because you're trying to really find a way to express yourself creatively, and you do it with people, because you can't do it through your work, because hell, if you're doing stuff with work or with anything in your life project-wise, it's got to look like you're working really hard or you're not being successful at it. Do you not know how to have fun? And what does your fun look like when you have it? Is it something that's good for you? Is it something that's bad? Is it toxic? Does something always have to be hard on you to be good for you? Would you know how to really sit back and enjoy yourself in a lighthearted kind of way, in something that's not hurting you in some way? I mean, this is really now starting to pop up really strongly. Because when you're working and doing projects, they've got to look like this or they're not successful. You can't do easy stuff. You can't have fun. You got to work hard. You can have fun sometimes, but you got to work hard at having fun. Like, is leisure time hard for you? If you do have fun, does it have to be extreme? Does it have to be something that's either toxic or heavy or just burdens you at the end of the day? Even if you have fun doing it, later it burdens you, but because that's what you've come to know? You got some major beliefs here that are really coming out. And I believe this is a huge cycle that's popping out right here. I think I'm going to like leave this alone because I could go and go and go, but I've got to, I don't want to give you guys too long of a video, but if you really want to delve more into this energy, I recommend hit me up. If I'm triggering you or I am hitting on some stuff that you're like, wow, I kind of do, I would recommend hit me up for a video. I'm not a video, a reading or some type of work, a session, because this is a very deeply ingrained cycle for you, habit that I'm hitting on here. You might even be telling yourself that this is because of other people. Because it could be in how others see you, but in your what's in your environment setting. But this is you all day long. They're just mirroring it or making that excuse for you. What's in your hopes and fears? You have the Eight of Pentacles. So you have the 8, 9, 10 in Pentacles. You have the 8, 9, 10 of a lot of cards. Clearly ending in cycles. The Stars. And again, you have the Eight of Pentacles. And I see very strongly here, all of these are about paths. And you've got this one rowing to his path, what he wants. This one going down a path. And this one, the Star is all about a path, your destiny. But it's a path, and someone's walking away. And it's all very leisurely as well. So, I mean, I do think that's a thing. Like, that's kind of is a fear for you. But you also want, I think you're starting to realize something. If you're not, you should be. And you're realizing something's got to change. Something's got to be different. And I think you need to not be stuck. Like, I think where you are right now is really in this kind of military person card. Kind of like, you know, got to be this, got to be that. And he's not moving. He's very stuck and rigid in his ways. And then this one was like reverse. So this is somebody they're free, they're going, they're taking action, they're guarded, yes, but more going and flowy, and it's reversed. So both yours are coming up as very rigid and like so. So yeah, I mean, you're clearly being really rigid and really stuck in a lot of your ways. And I think your hopes and fears are what you're wanting and what you're fearing. I think you're fearing this new path and this new change. But yet you're like hoping for it at the same time because you want something to feel good. I think you're starting to get tired of this, and this worries you because this is what you've always known, or at least you have for a while. Is what you've been putting so much work and thought and all these things into that make you who you are. It's really about seeing a change in perspective. And you're postponing changing your perspective of how you're been lying to yourself, thinking that someone who's relaxing is laziness. There's a certain level of healing and an end of a cycle that needs to come for you. But you're really postponing this change. Maybe it's even harder for some of you that are getting older. And that's one thing that you really hate about getting older because, you know, you've always seen somebody who's relaxing or taking it easy for a minute as laziness. And it's just something, it's deceptive. Seven of Swords, politics. Like, this is what's, you're worried about how you'll be seen, how this will be seen, because you know how you've always viewed other people. what image, what that looks like. And you're postponing you seeing things differently. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know a lot of this would kind of turn this way. But it's really getting to you, though. You're really going to have to address a lot of these core issues internally within yourself. Because it's really bothering you. Like, I think in your mind. And you're just like, I honestly don't know how much longer I can sustain that. And that's okay. Like, this cycle is supposed to be happening like this because it's showing you your new path, your new way you're supposed to go, something that's actually going to make you happier. So that's one thing. Like, I hope this part helps you in the sense that part of you is having trouble with letting this go because you see this as a source of your happiness. It's what you've always viewed as happiness. Okay? Listen to me, Virgos. For a second, listen to me. This is what you viewed as happiness. This is what's always brought you this level of confidence and self-esteem and will and courage, like all those things that makes you feel good and keep going. You did it to feel good, right? Like that's why you did all that, because it made you feel good. But Virgos are also, I think out of a lot of the signs, one that's the most about, health and evolving and staying, like learning, growing, maybe even staying, fit, like image, certain things. Like you're very much about that type of stuff, like evolving, health, the way things look. Hopefully you're doing it for yourself. Maybe you got to start learning to do it for yourself instead of the image or the way things look that you've been trying to portray. And that's a part that's coming up more challenging because maybe it's starting to get towards a phase in your life where it's not about the way it looks anymore. You have to do these things because of you. And you've been kind of focusing on such an external thing that you haven't really focused or worked on you. Where now you are, and in order to do, like you feel this part of your life kind of changing, and that's okay. I mean, that's part of your guys' like stuff. It's your motto. It's what you work for, right? Evolution, growth, changing, because you can't, listen, it's all about change and evolution. This can't always be. This is unrealistic. Not only because life changes, the world changes, people evolve, the world evolves, but you do. You evolve, you change, situations change, you get older, things change. This can't always be. And it seems like you're really having a hard time with this. Maybe not even this situation in your life, just that, or just that, whatever this is, whether it's a job, whether it's a family, whether it's a relationship, whether it's what you view as fun or is good to you, or it's just how hard you're working yourself, like you're going to have some internal changes that you're really kind of trying to, on one hand, needs to come, but you're trying to avoid it. And I don't know, like you might actually see the thing that you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have to change into this possibly. And it's going to be something that you might have always viewed as something you would have never wanted, you could have never understood, or that you might have actually even judged other people for. And part of your evolution is understanding a different perspective. And it seems like you're having to really let go of a perspective that you really didn't want to see, or you might have even judged. I mean, let's be honest, Virgos, because they're so critical of themselves and always wanting to be the best, and be their best and evolve and be productive and all of that, they're very hard on the people around them because they see a lot. They see all these things that could be done and could be improved and could be made better and all this stuff. And it's usually stuff that's external to them. And I think it's starting to get to a point in your life where it's like, you can't ignore that. Like, you're now seeing the things internally that need to be improved, and you're just like, oh God. Like maybe you didn't see that before, but you're seeing it now. And not only is that hard enough, but the stuff you're having to improve upon were things that is just hard for you because it goes against a lot of your core beliefs of who you always really were. And maybe even how you kind of came down a little bit hard on other people. because you saw things so clearly and couldn't understand why they didn't. And maybe now you're kind of getting some things in your life, or things are happening where the world is trying to help you evolve and grow and help you see the other side of the coin. And I just have to say, I hope you take my words on this, in the sense that don't forget that a lot of your core beliefs and a lot of your core values are to learn and to grow and be your best self. Even if that means challenging your own perspectives. That's actually some of your best growth that you do go through. And I do know, I understand, I have sympathy, just coming from somebody who's had to do it. And it is hard to challenge a lot of your own beliefs. But one thing that Virgos very much do want is that they want their work that they've worked really hard for to pay off for them. And if you do that work, and you do that work on where it's trying to lead you to go, where you're clearly being guided with all these path things that you know you're being pushed towards, I think you could feel it. It is a type of work that pays off more than anything you've ever done in your whole life. So I hope you choose it, because just be happy to know that one of your core beliefs will not change. And that is the one about growth and evolution and being your best self and remaining productive. And actually, if you really want to get technical, Virgos, let's get technical for a second. You're very much about being productive and getting as much done as fast and as best you can, right? I mean, and I know, don't sacrifice swiftness for detail. I get it. I'm right with you. But it's about being efficient and being as efficient as you can and not dawdling or wasting time. And I have to say, coming from somebody who's on a different perspective, this is dawdling or wasting time. You're actually not even doing what you think you are. I don't know if this is going to trigger you or not. And if you're happy with what you're doing, then fine. But this actually blocks and slows you down. It's funny because once you adopt this perspective and you allow it to change, and you see where you've been doing this and it's been blocking you, you're actually going to become more efficient. You're actually going to get more done. You're actually going to have better health. You're actually going to be coming across as younger than you look and feel right now. The reason you are having such a hard time, the reason you are possibly aging at the rate you are, the reason you are going through all the stuff you are right now is because of this that you hold so dear. So once you can get through the fear of this and letting this go and allowing your perception to change and also not worrying about how others see you and realize that was an illusion, and also forgiving yourself that possibly you viewed others in a very negative or harsh light, let it go. Allow yourself to change and watch the blessings that come from it. Watch how much more work you actually get done. Watch how much happier you actually are. Watch how much more money you can actually make when you learn to work smarter and not harder. When you learn to let your money work for you. You can still work if you want, but you might as well let your money work for you at the same time. It's just as valuable in the exchange as the money you worked for. Or you could even choose to go even another level higher, possibly, depending on how much you allow yourself to evolve, and be doing things that you actually enjoy doing and make money off that. Or have your money making other money while you're doing the things you enjoy. This is a reality. That is a smarter evolution. You're actually able to get more things done. This is an illusion. It's actually hindering you and holding you down and blocking you. You don't always have to work hard for your money. You don't always have to work hard for those things that come to you that are good in life. Actually, look at the things that you don't put a lot of effort into, that you're like about. And they're the things that come to you the easiest. But yet the things you're working the hardest on are the things that you got to work really hard to get them, and you don't get as much of an abundance of it. If you're not focusing on love right now, are you seeming to have a lot of people coming to you with love offers? If you're working really, really, really hard and overly working on money, Are you not getting as much as you want? You're getting it. It's enough. But not as much. It's kind of weird how that works, right? It's about working smarter, not harder. But this is what you're going to have to work on, a lot of releasing a lot of illusions, the way you've seen yourself, a lot of blocks that are going to come up from this. If you need help with this block work, please hit me up and let me know. I'm not only because I can help you with it, but I've had to go through this myself. I know what this is about. And I had to change my own viewpoint on it. Especially when it comes to making money. And I'm in the process of doing it with love. So, whatever on that. Just walk your path. Allow that path to come to you. I hope you break out of this cycle. What's in your likely outcome? You have the third eye chakra. Using your intuition. You seeing things. You have the 7 of Wands. Temperance. And the 5 of Swords. And this one, he's burning it down. Like, I think you heal and let this go. Like, all this fighting and defending yourself you've been doing. I think you see this and let this healing come. You realize it's time. And you need a stronger foundation. Something's not working anymore. And you burn it down. Whether it's just your beliefs, whether it's a relationship that's in your vicinity, whatever it is, you start to really see things. Maybe it's from this video, maybe it's from things in your life, but you start to really see it and let it go and really work on this new beginning that's sitting at the bottom of your deck. But this, I think, this is a different possibility or a different opportunity than what you have here in your mind. It may or may not be. The only reason I say that is I feel like what you are working towards that was halting you that you might have been like working really, really hard on, and in some ways I think you were working really hard on stuff and allowing other people to work really hard in your life because you, especially when it comes to love, that might be so. Or it could be like vice versa, and like the other person, like they're working on things, the situation person, whatever, and you're not doing much. And then in other areas you're overworking and they're not doing much. There's very much an out of balance thing that's going on here. There's also a very codependent vibe in this. But I think you realize it and you see the cycle and you decide to let all of that go. Not only beliefs, but whatever this situation this is around you where it's clearly not balanced. They're not balanced. You're not balanced. It's just very codependent. It's not great. It's toxic. There's a lot of just conflicting things and not seeing things. I think you finally see the change in perspective. You're starting to see things a little bit more properly, and I really feel like this is a different opportunity that's being presented to you that you don't have to work so hard for than what you originally have here in your thoughts. Because I don't think you were seeing things properly. So, I mean, it could be the same one, but I don't think it is. I think this that you keep working so hard on, I think you let it go. And I think because you see the lesson and you evolve and grow and do the work and you have this perspective change, I think you end up getting rewarded. But I do think whatever the situation is around you, I think you let it go. Yeah, you move forward and allow the change to happen. And if you don't, you should. Because you are being pushed. Like, you have the 9 of Spirals. And this is about a force coming and blowing all this out to start to move and create action. And you have a lot of things about deaths coming, you know, like changes, cycle, deaths. It could be a death in your family. I don't know, but I take this more as the cycle. If it is, you'd know probably, but I'm going to take this more as the cycle. And there's things changing course. You're going to have to remove a lot of lower vibrational stuff. Envy, punishment, jealousy. Maybe even people not being happy with you now deciding to go for things for you instead of you carrying the burden for them. That death will come, mortal. Things changing. And then it says, no need to fear. Remember how powerful you are. Growing up, wanting to grow and experience rejection of perpetual youth. And creating your own life. You can't go back to yesterday. Be in the present. I want to be a queen. Stating your sovereignty. A moment's regret. Nostalgia. Idealizing the past. Fearing you made a mistake. Uncertainty. Choose who you will become. Working through disbelief. Immense effort. Who in the world are you? And as you're changing with this, I have to say, I'd like to say this. Know that whenever you change things, especially fundamental belief type things like this, your blocks are going to come up. Which might be why you kept trying to end this and you always seem to go back, is because your blocks come up and you don't work through them. And you start to doubt yourself. Can I handle this? Is this what I want? A lack mentality, a fear mentality. So get through these blocks and work through them. Just because you do something and all of a sudden this stuff starts coming up and your mind plays tricks on you and starts showing you all the things you miss and all the reasons why you should stay, and then your mind and your ego messes with you, don't allow that to happen. Bring the same discipline that you guys have been carrying all this time through all this stuff that sucks, and bring that same discipline through changing this situation, whatever it is. Whether it's just internally within yourself or also externally. Bring the same discipline that you guys have. Just apply it to this. Don't apply it just to whatever is convenient for you or whatever your ego allows to happen. Because it's going to try to stop you from changing. Because it thinks it's doing what's safe for you because of your blocks that you have. You clearly have chakra blocks. And they're going to come up. And just because they come up doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. And also you're going to be thinking like, no, let me bring this back because nothing better is going to come. No, it is. You've got a new opportunity coming, but this comes when you let the rest go. When you end this cycle. It's almost like in a video game. You level up. You get the rewards. You get new things. You get new opportunities. You get new gifts. You get new powers, whatever, when you level up. When you go through that long, hard battle to level up. It's the same in life. Life's a game. So if you want to stay stuck here, then you keep doing what you've been doing. If you don't, and you're ready to grow and evolve and level up, like almost every Virgo I know has the mentality of the most out of anybody, really. Or at least one of them. Then choose that door and walk through it and shut it. And when you get those blocks knocking on it, you either don't open it, or you open it, see it, love it, work through it, let it go, and shut the door back. But you don't let it through the door. It just is what it is. Just let them come up, don't judge them, and just keep evolving. If you need help with this, let me know. You have Angel of Love, you have Storm Warning, and you have Hostilities reversed. So for a lot of you guys, this is about letting go of something that you cared a lot about, whether it's a job, a relationship, a family. But you have new things coming for you. You have new possibilities. A lot of transformations. Working on a lot of your chakras. And, I mean, I'm not even going to lie and tell you that it's going to be an easy path. It's going to take work. But you're definitely going to have to walk away from something. Something that there's a contract with or you've been dedicated to for a long time. And it's going to show you how you've been deceiving yourself, but you're going to get new blessings. It's going to be a little bit, it's going to be kind of like this. Like the slope will still be up. So it'll be like this, but it'll actually be going up. Or it might like go deep a little bit first and then go up. But, I mean, it's the path. You're working this hard anyways. Work on something that gives back to you and ends up improving your health and improving your life, instead of something that keeps you like this or actually makes you deteriorate. As long as you're putting the work in. I'm just saying. All right, so we're almost ready to wrap up. 2 of your cards that were like soul journey type advice for you is you have the 10 of spirals with a centaur. This is pretty interesting. And this centaur is kind of at a crossroads. Right in the middle of it. And then you also have death, Adrian. And the 10 of spirals is, I guess I'll just read it. A symbol for unneeded possessions or unhealed wounds. It is known to anyone once baffled by a burdensome crossroads. However you visualize the centaur's excess baggage, the 10 bundles of potentially transformative energy cannot propel you into the next cycle until matters are resolved. Moving forward requires effort, determination, and willpower. Festering emotional wounds are the result of unprocessed pain and anguish. One rolled up bundle might signify the loss of a loved one. Another bundle might symbolize regret, anger, or resentment. The list is long. These are bundles of fear, raw emotion, and negativity that prevent healing because forgiving others can be difficult and forgiving ourselves can be next to impossible. The 10 of spirals asks that we choose the narrow path, the path of forgiveness. This is the path that overcomes fear and leads to self-acceptance. And I will agree with that because it wasn't until I really learned about things and accepted myself that all of a sudden I started understanding about other people. And that's really what shifted my perspective and really that opened up my heart chakra and really was a big part of when my awakening started. But it was really through understanding myself more and why I did things that I was actually able to start understanding why other people did things. Just saying. Choosing this path is the decision to release surplus baggage and the will to see it through. The centaur asks, am I a sentient, self-aware human able to make choices and live with them? Or am I simply a hardwired beast of burden and pitiable victim of circumstance? The famous Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw wrote, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. You may not know how to make them, but fortunately your higher self does. The 10 of spirals beckons you to listen to your inner voice and trust your instincts and intuition. Doing so will produce a moment of truth when you can declare enough. In that instant, you summon the will to forgive, release baggage, and set forth on the high road to healing, enlightenment, and self-fulfillment. And then you have death, which is Adrian, which is really interesting because the 10 of spirals is very much about the centaur. Centaur, I don't know, carrying all these burdens. And Adrian is very much about killing or decapitating or I think cutting off the head of the centaur, which is also very much about, you can see the spiral in the background and her ending it. So it's about her ending this, which is weird that they came out together. Or was that a minotaur? 10 of spirals. Oh, centaur. I don't know the difference between a minotaur and a centaur. Either way, it's still very similar. The story of Adrian's assistance is told in the myth of Adrian's thread. Her lover Theseus journeyed to the center of the labyrinth to do battle with the dreaded half-man, half-bull called the Minotaur. Oh, maybe because it's half bull and not half horse. That's probably what it is. To make certain he would trace his way out, Adrian gave Theseus the end of a ball of yarn she used in weaving. All great mother goddesses are weavers. Traversing the labyrinth is a metaphor for self-discovery, self-emptying, and shadow work. In the labyrinth's sacred center, we battle things we don't much like about who we are, things we hide from ourselves. The battle with the shadow self teaches us how to forgive and love who we are and how to bring our demons out of hiding. We enter the labyrinth's maze with confused emotions and submerged guilt and later emerge whole, balanced, and with greater self-confidence. The spiraling labyrinth symbolizes the energy of the hero's journey. It is a spiritual exercise involving peaceful mindfulness and rigorous self-examination. Slaying the Minotaur shines light upon the fearful, shadowy projections that haunt your psyche and teach you to live fully in the present moment. Like I was saying about, I think you were projection before. A lot of your judgmental things that came across kind of judgmentally were probably projections. In your reading, Adrian invites you to take note of and assume responsibility for any unhealthy attitudes and attachments that may constrain emotional and intellectual freedom. By slaying your dreaded Minotaur, you reclaim all power it held over you. The fear-based power that you yourself unwittingly allowed the Minotaur to steal. Minotaur, I don't know. They symbolize the heroic battle to overcome fear, the scourge of spiritual fulfillment and joy of living. As a reward for slaying the Minotaur, the Mother Goddess Adrian promises threads of divine assistance and loving protection in all your future endeavors. He said, you have a new beginning coming, and you will be rewarded for that, but you've got to choose to take that test and level up. You've got to allow your reality to change, your perspective to change, your own demons to come up in what you see. Allow your perspective to change. Don't be so rigid. So we're going to do an animal spirit card real quick, and then we'll call this a wrap. It's long enough. So you have stuff about knowledge, ancient knowledge. You may want to look into Akashic records and also willpower like a horse. Going through this. You guys are a powerhouse. You can powerhouse any way you want to. Whether you want to powerhouse to keep it up like this, or you want a powerhouse to something that's going to benefit you in your life. Let me see if that's... So you have reputation, which I think is pretty fitting because it's all very much about the image, like I was saying. And also, like I was originally saying with this 10 of Wands, looking at the people around you who keep you around you because you do this. And they don't have to. So you have skunk medicine. So you know who to attract and who to repel. So, I mean, this may take a certain change in your life. Skunk medicine, go ahead and laugh. This furry little animal has a reputation that contains a great deal of power. Due to its distinctive behavior, humans give this tiny, smelly creature a wide berth. B-E-R-T-H. The key word here is respect. Unlike other predatory animals, skunk does not threaten your life, but threatens your senses. You know this to be true if you have ever been in the vicinity of its spray. In observing the habit patterns of skunk, it is easy to notice the playfulness and nonchalance of its natural behavior. The I dare you attitude of this four-legged creature commands you, as the observer, to respect its space by mere reputation alone. Skunk is teaching you that by walking your talk and by respecting yourself, you will create a position of strength and honored reputation. The carriage of your body relates to others what you believe about yourself. There is no need to bully, aggravate, torment, or overpower other things with your sense of self when your sense of self is intact. And that kind of goes with what I was saying too with like projections. Like, this is about really starting to grow your inner self. I think you've been working a lot on growing your outer environment and maybe a little bit of yourself. And this is asking you more to delve more to the inner work within yourself. And you won't really have to like project as much or kind of be as critical sometimes, which is really what kept you in this mentality a lot. When you start to work on that, this is a lot of your sense of self. What that's saying, and you're working on it. As with skunk, the resonant field of energy around your body is relayed through your senses. Self-esteem, which is a solar plexus, permeates the body's energy and is instantly recognized on an extrasensory level by others. Learn to assert without ego what you are. Respect follows. Your self-respectful attitude will repel those who are not of like mind and yet will attract those who choose the same pathway. Exactly. And you have that all in your hopes and fears. So yes, your world may have to change a little bit. Like I said, it's a little bit of illusion. Most of those people still stay there. The other ones that don't, you just don't want them there. So that's not going to bother you too much if they don't go along with how you're respecting yourself and where your path is taking you. Or if they don't at least respect it. As the odor of skunk attracts others of its kind, it repels those who do not respect its space. Skunk medicine people have the ability to attract others, and they are very charismatic. At the same time, the other side of their natural power is to repel those who seek to take energy from them without recycling the gifts that are taken. Skunk medicine people also know how to use the energy flows that will attract a lover, which I think I said that in your last reading, that it's like once you end this cycle, it brings in someone like more aligned like to your other half, like who you really are inside. But you don't know who they are because I get this vibe that you really don't fully know who you are right now. You may think you do, but when you start getting into this work, you're going to find some things out about yourself. Some people call this sexual magic as it's akin to the musk scent that animals excrete to attract a mate. It can be dangerous to leak sexual energy if you are not looking for a mate. It puts you into a games condition that may feed your ego, but not how others feel about you. Which is funny because you're actually coming up as the Knight of Chalices reverse, which could either be like you're not really interested in love, or they could be very manipulative in love. So you may really just not be interested in love. Some people call this sexual magic, but it can be dangerous to leak sexual energy if you are not looking for a mate. It puts you into a games condition that may feed your ego, but not allow others, it may feed your ego, but not how others feel about you. If you are attracting others who have an interest in you, you are in a sense saying, I'm available. This can cause hard feelings when the truth comes out. It can also leak energy that you could have used in a more constructive way. In skunk medicine, it is good to learn how to handle energy. So those of you who are like having a lot of sex and fun and stuff with other people, that was really for you. It is good to learn how to handle energy flows. Modern psychologists call this body language. In tribal teachings, this is your personal medicine, which you are showing to others. Use your medicine well and know that you are known by your reputation. How you use your energy will attract either honor or disgrace. How you use your energy will attract... Okay, I think I just repeated the same thing. Honor or disgrace. You may want to examine what energy you are putting out that creates your present situation. If you have chosen the symbol, you are being asked to notice the kinds of people who are attracted to you. If they emulate favorable characteristics, have enough self-esteem to recognize those characteristics within yourself. Walk tall and be proud of the accomplishments you have made. Bear in mind that what you believe about yourself is your ultimate protection. Project self-respect. Also, if you're attracting other people to you with characteristics you don't like, then you should look at that as well because they're also mirroring to you and like attracts like. So anyways, I love you guys. I hope this helps. Sorry it's a little bit long, but these are the soul journey readings. I try to aim for my soulmate ones to be a little bit shorter. I love you guys. If you need help with this or help with your blocks or to see if this energy correlates to you or what to do about this, how to handle it, anything, hit me up for a personal reading. Don't forget about my November special that I did a video about. And you can check out my service. It's also in the beginning of this video. But also check out my services, PayPal information, email information, all of that, description box below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. After this, I think I have Cancer left, and then I start over the cycle, and from there going forward, except for maybe Taurus, I may get them out of the way real quick, and I think they have the most anyways, I'm not sure. I'll be going in the order of like. So anyways, unless somebody blows it out of the park with comments. So like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Or I'll see you soon, talk to you, whatever.